Good afternoon, August the 17th, 2015. Well, we've got our typical Monday rally. We had bad news this morning. The first trade was a sell. We talked about this setup right here. Got you a good trade. We also talked about trading 10 to 15 minute bar charts, F4 screens, to slow things down because there is just so much noise and there's so much control of the markets by exchange members who their main job is gunning stops. We talked about the two trades we took today being poor trades. We sold into the hole. We bought the high right here. And on a 10-minute chart, 15-minute chart, you could have made money here. This would have been a good chart to trade too. So we're just going to have to slow things down, and probably until mid-September. We're not rejecting prices right now. There's no one piece of news. The news was split this morning. Housing index was at 61. That's a big number. Came in just as forecast. New York manufacturing survey, the Empire State manufacturing survey, was a bust. Came in much lower. So this market, bad news took the market down. Good news took the market higher. And that's the problem in trading the E-mini these days. You don't know how it's going to react to the news. So this trade right here would have been a loser. This retest failure trade right here, depending on where you got out, was a hell of a winner. This retest failure trade right here really wasn't a good trade for us because we didn't have a square or a diamond, and it was plus 3 ticks. We like plus 2 ticks because then we know that the trading community has gotten stops above a pivot high or below a pivot low. This S trade right here, this B was a loser. This S trade here would have been at least a scratch. Really don't get another signal till we get up in here, and then we're just chop. It really becomes very difficult. So the trade was off the 10 or 15 minute charts, and I'll show you what I mean right here. And it was our red on red, blue on blue trade setup. Great risk reward. You've got very limited. You're looking at 7, 6, sometimes no more than usually about 8 ticks of risk, and you legitimately have a shot at the entire day's trading range, and depending on the day, that's 10 to 20 points. So here were the blue on blue trades that we talked about. Gotta like that blue line right there. But you can, and again, you can just see how it's just a lot easier to read this chart. These trades are producing money. This trade was a big winner. This trade was a big winner. This B right here was a scratch. This B was a nice winner. It's a much better time frame to work. So we'll do some more on that tomorrow. We're in a trading range. We're very close to the top of it, 2100. When we look at our F1 screen, you can see that 2100 is held the last 3 times up here. Before that, it was 2107 plus. So there's a lot of resistance, 2100, 2110. Got an outside day, believe it or not, so that suggests trading range. And I think the easiest trade to see would be failure to take out 2100 tomorrow. Do have some news. Housing starts looking at 1.18 million. Permits 1.23. Those numbers could come in higher than forecast. Looking at the F2 screen. Market profile. Oh, the market profile doesn't help you if you're trending. That's baloney. No more than 3 letters wide. You can buy range extensions. So there was 3 trades right there that all would have made you money. Now we get a mom and move out of the middle. So pay attention to the letter width. So we have a very strong P. We know we have resistance at 2100. So failure to take out 2100 plus or minus is the first trade. Then leaning against 07, we're selling 4s to 7s, sell 2. On the buy side, 90, 92. Got to give it a little bit of room. Everything looks real bright technically in trading range markets. Go a little higher, then they sell. Thing looks pretty grim. Go a little bit lower, then they rally. And we just have to keep that in mind. We're back to our 85, 87 for buy 2. So the first trade of the day we wanted to be short. It did produce a nice winning trade. The trades off our 3-minute charts were terrible. And again, we're giving up 10, 11 ticks in a market that quite often won't rotate 12. And it's hard to make money in those situations. So 10-minute charts is where the answers are. Okay, we'll save the 30-year till the end. I want to talk a little bit about those spread charts. So the next screen, if I can find it. There it is. Okay, higher low, higher high. You can see that there's pretty good selling, pretty clean market at 128.20. We got above today's highs, not by much. And here we sit, last trade at 27.20. So we know there's probably pretty good selling above 28.04. And there's some buying below 127. It's not definitely buyers below 26.08. So this screen says higher tomorrow. And we do have the housing start information. Definitely a P. Volume is above time. Now, this volume above time, that people were willing to pay up to get into the market. That's a strong indicator as we can get for retesting the highs and or taking them out. And you can see that we got the I period high, then we have a JL, then we have an M. So it was coming back in a little bit. We don't quite have a move out of the middle and M period right here. But if the E-mini gets stronger, my guess is this market will come back a little bit. So I think the easiest trade to see is going to be sell failure to take out 25.28. And hard to see the market running away to the upside with a new piece of news out of China or someplace. But if you look at the fundamentals around the world, people marching in Brazil, isn't it wonderful? I forget who Chavez's daughter has amassed $4 billion representing Venezuela at the UN. Now that's why these people do it. I mean, it's their time to steal from the Treasury. And all this political demagoguery and all this talking about rich people, you listen to all this speech, that's just to get the votes to get in office so you can become rich. Okay, got a pretty clean break here at 19. Maybe a little bit lower, so we'll put a 13 to 17 buy. A question mark at 21. A lot of it depends on what the E-mini does this afternoon, then 5 to 9 for buy 2. But if you can, I just don't understand why people fall for that over and over again. But a lot of us, they just don't know history, and history may not repeat itself exactly. They say history rhymes, but if you're ignorant and you're taking it, you're easy to. It's easy to take advantage of you, and the political class does regularly. Bunch of dumbasses, if you know what I'm talking about. But that's what we have to live with, and they're not going any place fast. Okay, on gold, you can see that the sell is now 20 to 25, and the buy. Right now we have a very clean break in the market at 10. Higher low, higher high, we can still buy it. And put yourself in the average gold owner's shoes. If you have gold in the house, in the vault, wherever you have it, you're probably not going to get rid of it. So the market may sell and correct a little bit, but it probably isn't going to break. So let's see if we can get lucky tonight. By 10s to 12, it is pointed lower. The question mark by 15. And then 5 to 7. And we're back 20 to 22 for sell 1. And 24, 26 sell 2. Looking at crude, closed pretty weak. This market's headed lower. Next stop 40. If we go through that, it's going to be 37.50. And I think this last run up started in the low 30s. This will be our fourth oil bust. And my guess is that low in the low 30s will hold. A couple articles out about what it costs to produce. Some of the Bakken shale is profitable in the $30 per barrel range. I know the Travis Ford shale play, when they first started out, was profitable in the $40 range. So some of that stuff you can produce cheaper, but F1, lower low, lower high, look for a place to sell it. And if we put all of this together, you're looking at a pretty big B. And K stopped at 42.65. We're 41.90, so it's pretty aggressive, but 25 to 50 sell 1. 75 to the buck sell 2. On the buy side, looks like we're headed lower. We got this tail down here. 41.25, 41.50 buy 1, 40.75, 41 buy 2. Saw an interesting article out there where George Soros put in bids for the huge blocks of stock, Consolidated and Peabody Coal. You know, this guy's done it before, where he's engineered with the help of political allies. You've seen it in Brazil. You've seen it in a lot of his plays. George, no doubt about it, is in it for the money, and will use political influence and everything else that he can get to help create situations where he can swoop in and pick up companies for 25 cents on the buck or less. And he would do it. He's got a long history of doing that. It's amazing that this guy gets away with what he does get away with all the governments in the world that would like to have a piece of his backside. But right now he's able to buy protection by sending enough money in the right spots and by funding and financing different levels of support for the Democrat Party. And George rings the bell well. He knows how to do that. Okay, right here, that 1050, 1040 area is where the market should find some support. And we like the short side of the market. That's not going to change. The European Central Bank and the European Union love the short side of the market because they want to export more goodies outside of the European Union. So, got rejection in this 1037 area. we may have rejection below 1075. So we're going to put 1050 plus or minus by 1, and then 1025 for Globex for by 2. On the sell side, 95 to 1105 sell 1, and 25 to 35 sell 2. Okay, looking at the 30-year, we'll get the numbers first, and then I just want to show you, again with the idea, if we get the direction right, everything else tends to fall into place. And when you look at spreads, that's what 75% of the money that's put into the market on a spec basis, not a hedging basis, is done via spreads in the financials. And these guys play fundamentals. So here we are. We had the last rotate up in M period was at 04. So this 3103 sell 1, leaning up against this volume, and then 7 to 11 sell 2. We're not getting 2 and 3 point ranges now. We're getting 1 point plus. So we got to pull our numbers in a little bit. I'm going to put 17 to 13 buy 1, and buy 2 1 to 5. The E-mini sells, we rally. If the E-mini continues to rally, this one probably continues to sell. So okay, I'm going to stop the tape for this, and then we're going to go look at some spreads here for a minute.